Tanga. Tanga.
Hello,
and welcome to the TnN Show. This is going to be a weekly show from now on. This is the first episode where we do a review and preview of the weekends and the oncoming weekend section. So, hello, I'm Tinashe, and this is Nigel. We're going to be previewing the beginning of the Premier League, the start. So we're going to start with the Premier League for the first few segments. And we want to talk about Arsenal. Arsenal kicked us off this weekend. I think it was the first kickoff, right? The lunchtime kickoff versus Fulham. And they won 3-0. So I'm just going to be asking Nigel here to give me what he noticed about Arsenal. What's new about Arsenal? What's different? And can they do something this season?
Arsenal, for me, I won't lie, I was pretty impressed. I think the thing that impressed me the most was they seemed to have some sort of balance in how they did things when they were defending and when they were attacking. Different from when, what's his name, Emery was there, where I thought it was kind of disjointed. You could literally tell, like, there's something wrong. But yeah, they seemed to have some balance. And I still don't think Lacazette up front is honestly what they need. But, I think he's okay. He's all right. But so for me,
you're already highlighting that they need maybe another centre forward. Which centre forward do you think? Okay, not amongst the ones they can go and buy, but with the current squad, is there anyone else better than Lacazette?
No, I simply think it's a thing of, I think one thing you can try out is get Aubameyang down the middle. I think he's going to score 10 more goals if he goes down the middle. And maybe have Willian come off the left this time instead of the right. And then have Pepe come off the right. I think that's something he can try. But going forward, I think Aubameyang will always help them. So there's no real issue there. Defensively, though, I think they were better. Maybe it's because they had Bellerin now fully fit. Tierney's there as well. Saliba made a mistake. First 2 minutes of the game. 1 minute. I don't know.
What was it, Saliba or the other guy? Isn't he called Gabriel or something like that?
Gabriel made a mistake first 2 minutes. But other than that, I think he was pretty good. He was pretty good throughout the whole game. Although Fulham for me helped Arsenal, because you look at the front players, they didn't do enough for me. I think they did okay in terms of keeping the ball sometimes when they could. I think the midfield did a decent job, but it's just that attacking, they looked flat going forward. They looked flat. Yeah, this is my thought. But I think Arsenal, it's just the first game, but I think they look good.
So this is just you just telling the Arsenal fans that don't get too excited. Okay, Arsenal versus bad Fulham.
Yeah, don't get too excited.
Oh man, you're bad. But now let's look at this. A guy like Lacazette, who obviously watches this show, he's tweeted about our show a lot of times. He scores a goal and he gets told that it's not good enough for us now. Is this some type of hate towards Lacazette or what?
Look, here's the thing for me. When I'm watching football, yes, you can get a goal, right? But what type of goal is it? Is it, if you look at the goal he scored, I mean, I could have been standing there. I wouldn't have missed. But you look at the way he plays as well sometimes it's like, when he's good, he's very good. I like him when he's very good. But sometimes he just goes missing in games and he looks like he doesn't want to be there, or I don't know what's going on. And I think
understand. But then we can't talk about Arsenal's performance without, giving a shout out to your former player, to the best player on the day. 3 assists from Willian.
He was good. I'm salty, but he was good.
No, at least you're very honest about it. Okay, let's move on from Arsenal now. Now let's just look at the other big match of the day on Saturday. Leeds versus Liverpool. Oh, how impressive were Leeds?
Leeds, for me, I think if they play like that consistently, automatic top 10, top, maybe even if I throw it in the top 7, But because I think, again, Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I don't know what's going on with those two guys.
What do you mean?
It's almost as if Van Dijk has become a passenger in a way. Because you look at Liverpool, they weren't really pressing that high for whatever reason. I don't know. When they usually do, they're very good. But at the same time, you look at the goals they conceded, balls over the top, runners, going behind them. It's almost as if they don't have that line anymore. If we start going tactically, into things, you start to looks like they're almost disjointed, where you have maybe the right back can drop too deep and then you play someone onside, or, just simple things like that. I don't know whether it's a thing of they're getting complacent or concentration. I don't know what's going on, but it needs to be sorted out. But otherwise, honestly, if they sort that out, it's Liverpool at the very best again.
Of course, I picked Liverpool to win this game before kickoff. I've picked them to win the Premier League because I think they're going to win the Premier League. But I get what you're saying, that they weren't high enough, they didn't press enough, but maybe it's just a case of scary Leeds. They were scared of Leeds United. This team is scary.
That's what I'm saying. Credit to Leeds as well, because they saw it and they were playing the balls over the top. It's like when we watched Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain. The whole game was like, why aren't they playing? Why isn't PSG playing that ball over the top? Because of how high Bayern Munich were. It was very surprising, but Leeds, put it into effect and it worked for them.
Okay, however, how impressive Leeds were, they still lost the game, 3 points to Liverpool. Let's talk about this. I remember the last time we did this, there was some people who were making noise about how Lionel Messi was going to be the player of the season. And my pick, just on opening day, just goes out there, gets me a hat-trick.
Okay.
Yeah. Give us your thoughts on Mo Salah, bro.
I honestly... It's 2 penalties, guys. Come on. I mean, look,
he's gonna be there to score them. He's gonna be there to score them.
Okay. Yeah. But for me, he's not good enough outside of that. You understand what I'm saying? Not that he's a terrible player. I think here's what I think about Mo Salah. I think he's a finisher, right? I think he can finish. I think he's probably a Harry Kane. Harry Kane isn't the most amazing when it comes to, the little touches and he looks like a footballer. He's no. He's a finisher. When he gets a chance, 9 times out of 10, it's in the back of the net. But I guess that's what he's good at. But I don't like him. I don't like Liverpool.
No, I see, I understand. But then, I mean, if he finishes, as he says, he's a finisher. If he finishes, let's say 30 more on top of these 3, he gets 33 Premier League goals.
He's not getting 30 goals.
He's going to be the player of the season.
He's not getting 30 goals.
Put some respect on Salah's name.
He's not getting 30 goals this season. Watch.
Why not?
He's not even. What? He's not even gonna. If he goes past 20, like I said, I think I already said it in the previous episode. Said if he goes past 20, I'll send everybody 100.
There's to you, Mo Salah. Just 17 more goals. I get $100 from this guy, and I don't know how many other fans, thousands of fans who watch this channel. they each get 100. That's gonna be something like what, 100K. Okay, yeah. Since Liverpool got the 3 points versus Leeds, their next fixture is the one we're gonna be looking at now. They're gonna be traveling to London at Stamford Bridge to take on the Chelsea. I want Nigel to give me a preview of that game, and at the time of recording, Chelsea haven't yet played their first match. But I mean, yeah, we gotta preview the big games. Do Chelsea stand any chance versus this Liverpool team?
I think they stand big chance against this Liverpool team. I think if we look at even Chelsea, Liverpool last season, you see that Liverpool were having some problems handling Chelsea. They might have won the games, but they had some problems. And in the FA Cup, we beat them. So I think maybe it's if certain players are fit, if certain players are on points, then I think 3 points is available. But I still fear for that Chelsea defense. I still think if Thiago Silva doesn't play that game, he's not ready or, something along those lines, I think Liverpool win it regardless. But yeah, it's an interesting one. And for me, I haven't seen Chelsea play this season, so I don't know what we're going to get. Are they going to gel right off the bat against Brighton? Are they going to have some issues? That kind of thing. So it's pretty interesting. But I think I'll back my team on this one.
Okay, no, just to put your neck on the line, give us a prediction.
Off the top, I think I'll go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Okay. Everyone save those predictions. Nigel says Chelsea is going to beat Liverpool 2-1. Maybe Christian Pulisic brace or Timo Werner's going to get a goal. I don't know. We'll find out. Now to a rather more depressing topic for Nigel. His favorite manager got whooped yesterday. The scoreline, I think, is a flattery to Tottenham. Tottenham versus Everton. How bad was that?
I think that was the worst Tottenham performance I've seen in a while, if I'm being honest. They even the decision making in the final third from Son, Harry Kane, Dele Alli, it was really bad. But all credit to Everton because I think they played well. That 3-man midfield is doing the job. It's doing the job. I've been seeing the memes around of James Rodriguez with his left foot. I think he did pretty decent yesterday. And that header from Calvert-Lewin, that's yeah, that was something special. But I think Tottenham, they don't have that punch at the moment. Like I remember I was watching the All or Nothing documentary and Jose was complaining about them being too nice.
They definitely were nice yesterday.
And I think yesterday they were too nice. I just hope it's not one of those where Jose Mourinho ends up falling out with the players and then, starts complaining and then, we've seen it happen so many times with Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, yesterday when I was watching the match, I have to be honest with you, I expected a whole lot more from Tottenham. They just didn't give anything. And not to criticize Jose Mourinho or anything, because maybe he had put his trust in a few bad eggs. For me, I'm going to call out Dele Alli. That was one useless performance for me. If I could rate it out of 10, giving him a 2 would be very, very sympathetic towards Dele Alli. He just did not do anything. Then when I look at the midfield, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Harry Winks, they were just playing sideways passes. Tottenham just looked like they weren't going anywhere. They didn't have any imagination to their game, always passing the ball to the left back and right back from the central midfield and stuff like that. And I think the problem with Tottenham now is because they don't spend much. I don't think Mourinho is going to get a chance to bring someone into that midfield before the window closes. So I don't know if you would like to suggest some solutions from the squad of who you could, I don't know, to change this situation because it's looking bad.
I think defensively, Tottenham are not that bad. I think they're okay defensively, you know. I think they can get top 4 with that defense.
With Eric Dyer?
Why not? You don't think so?
That guy would be very lucky to even start for Newcastle United. Is he any good?
The back line?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, if they play a centre-back, what's his name? Sanchez.
Maybe, but I don't know why he starts Dyer. Why is he starting Dyer?
He's always been a fan of Dyer. Always.
You can be a fan, but if someone is not good, they're not good.
I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. Or even when he plays in his so-called best position, in that CDM role, I think he's probably one of the worst CDMs in the Premier League.
Exactly.
And putting him at centre-back doesn't help. But I think if they can get Sanchez in there and, someone next to him, Alderweireld.
Yeah.
Alderweireld next to him. I think it's okay. I don't think it's terrible. But the biggest problem I have is that midfield. I think that midfield is, it's stressful.
You don't have to be nice. You can really say what you want to say. They are weak.
If you look at who's gonna give the magic in midfield for Tottenham Hotspur, I don't see anyone with that kind of quality. And you would think that them letting go of Christian Eriksen, they would have somebody to come in there and for me, Dele Alli is nowhere consistent enough. They need to, I don't know whether he's lazy or I don't know what it is with Dele Alli, but he needs to sit down for a little bit. But the other problem is when he sits down, who's going to come in there? Who's giving Dele Alli a run for his money? Who's giving Harry Kane a run for his money? Who's giving Son a run for his money? That's the problem with these guys. They know they're going to start every game. So there's no, okay, we can compare them, but there's no, even those forward guys, there's no punch. And he complained about it yesterday, and he was like, the pressing today was
definitely
nothing.
Yeah, non-existent.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a difficult one for them. But I think if Dele Alli, Harry Kane, and Son are firing on all cylinders, I think Tottenham are good enough. I think they're good enough.
You picked them for top 4. I also picked them for top 4. How foolish we're looking at the moment. But I also wanted to say, Jose Mourinho, especially this second season syndrome where he is super good and everything always goes for him. He is usually very, very quick out of the blocks. If you're just looking at Jose Mourinho as an individual, his future, are you getting worried for Jose Mourinho now? Is he going to finish this season with Tottenham?
Look, it's just the first game, but I'm like I said, I'm afraid of that. That Jose gets angry, and then he throws out his players. Then that, and then everything just crumbles from there. That's what I'm afraid of. But I think if he can, just keep everybody calm and himself calm, then I think he can. I think he's good enough to finish the season. I don't think Tottenham will be I don't think they can get any worse than yesterday. Surely.
Yeah, no, there's talk of them getting maybe Danny Ings just for cover, a striker position, and the guy from Napoli, what's his name, Akadis Milik, just for cover
Okay.
so that they can have a bit more depth in front. So maybe that will help Mourinho. But I have to be honest with you, Nigel, I am deeply afraid for Mourinho, and I'm more deeply afraid for myself for rooting for this team to make the top four. I don't know if
Uh,
they're going to make the top four. Those were
mm,
some really, really bad signs. And okay, not to be harsh on Everton fans, because of course they want us to lavish a bit of praise onto their team. I don't know if we could perhaps talk about
no.
Everton's performance as well, because they looked quite assured.
I think you look at that midfield, you look at the quality they've brought in. I think if someone like Allen can, get his game up again, someone like Yames, we know the quality he can bring to sides. Decore, I mean, his energy is essential, whatever team he plays for. I think if maybe those guys can perform for Everton, I think they should be good this season. I think they should be good this season. I think up top, I think Calvert, he's shown that, even when the day is not going good for him, even last season, I think he's shown that he's always working. He's always working. So I think it's good. I think it's good. Just now, can they get that quality can they get that potential from the guys they've brought in? That's probably the most important thing right now. And yesterday, I think they did slam that consistency, and I think we're good.
And this is just so surprising. James Rodriguez's debut, he looked really good after I just called him a flop just a couple of days ago. I'm looking rather bad here, but I'm going to stick to my guns. He's going to give those Everton fans about 5 more of those games and it's season over for him. I'm joking. I'm joking. You know why I'd called him a flop? I'd called him a flop because I thought, yes, they were going to use that 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 formation. And I thought that Carlo Ancelotti was going to put him in the middle where he had to run a lot, where he had to do a lot of work. But then I think this is just to show that credit to a top coach like Ancelotti, who knows all these things. He knew that maybe if I put James in the middle where he has to run a lot, you'd quickly get spent. So he allowed him to be creative from the wing, where defensively perhaps he doesn't have to work as hard as all the other guys.
That's credit to Carlo. That's credit to Carlo's experience, his technical awareness, the players he has. I think it was very good. I think it was very good yesterday. But like you said, I think the only thing that can affect him now is consistency. I mean, if you look at pretty much everywhere he's been, he's given some good games here and there, and then it's not consistent enough, and then it goes down from there.
I'll be waiting to judge him very, very harshly so that I can. It can seem that
you don't like him. You don't like him.
I do like him, but then I like being right more.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, moving to one of the sour stories out of England this week. Let's talk about this Mason Greenwood thing where he's been caught, smoking, inhaling the laughing gas and stuff like that. And you know how the press is, they've brutalized him. Are they being too harsh on the kid?
That's ridiculous. Leave the kid alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. How old is he? 18, 19?
Yeah, somewhere there.
Why are you bothering him? He's having fun. Okay, maybe bringing the girls into the bubble thing was a bit of a mess. That should never go. But I mean, laughing gas, really?
I don't remember. I don't remember anywhere where I read that it was pretty harmful or dangerous to people and stuff like that, and they're just making a case out of it.
I don't understand what the issue is, and that's the problem with the English media. They just do funny things. It's almost as if they are the downfall for their own players sometimes.
Too much pressure on them.
Too much pressure on them, and then now this where they're just attacking him. for, the silliest of things. Come on, this is not necessary.
Yeah, let's move on from that. It's not a nice topic anyway. We've all made mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of course, one of the bigger teams not to play this weekend, got their matches postponed, was Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
There's still questions on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even though he gave them top 4 last season. Is he the guy who's going to take United to those dizzy heights, to those great heights? Is he going to be able to bridge the gap between United, Liverpool, and City? Is he going to get them to those echelons?
I think in terms of his tactical ability, that's a strong no for me. Tactical ability.
So if he's not any good tactically, that means you're just saying that he has to go. United have to get a better coach.
Yeah, I could probably name 5 coaches better than him, 10 coaches. I think there are a number of coaches better than him.
So he's not the best man for the job.
I don't think he's the best man for the job, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I do think.
Yes.
I think he's not the best man for the job at the moment, right? Just like him and Frank, and Pirlo, I don't think they are the best people for the job. But like United have clearly decided to do is give him time. So I think with that, it also allows him to grow. Let's not forget, he's getting experience. He's acquiring all these things, And United, besides the 55 penalties they got last season, which saved them, defensively they can improve. But I think as the season went on, they got better. They got better, right? I'm not going to sit here and act like they didn't get better. They got better. But is it at the level that we expect them to with the quality of players they have? No. Because look at Pogba. Pogba, for me, I don't know what's going on with him. He just seems a little, sometimes when he's running, it looks off. It looks like maybe he's a bit too heavy for himself. I don't know what is going on with that. He doesn't look as natural as he was when he was at Juventus, and he was playing next to the best midfielder ever to grace football. So, yeah, look at players like him, and I think as well they're looking to strengthen, for me, in positions that are not, for me, really necessary. You look at, okay, fine. Why aren't they getting a CDM? A top quality CDM who's going to sit there?
They've got Matic. They've got Matic.
Really? That's your top quality CDM?
He's still good.
He's good, but he's not of that quality. He's no longer of that quality, let me put he's no longer of that quality.
But if you look at the available guys, who can they go and get at this very moment?
Declan is there, 50 million. Why don't you go get, okay, listen to me. Why don't you go get Declan Rice? He's young. He's shown to have, for me, he's probably the same quality as Matic at his age. So why don't you go get him? He sits in there with maybe, I don't know who, Pogba, whoever you decide to put into there next to him. And then you have Bruno, and that's your 3. Why don't you do that? Why get rid of Lindelof? Why do you still want Lindelof? Get another center back. They have, it's not like they don't have the money. They have the money, but it's just, for me, they're so stuck on that Sancho deal, they can't move forward. I think the attack, I don't think the attack is bad. That's the thing. I think going forward, last season, they're probably one of the most dangerous front threes, So clearly their attack is not bad. But it's that, for me, it's kind of that balance again. That, okay, sit in there, get Declan Rice, get somebody who's going to sit in there and give them some defensive solution.
I understand.
That's right.
So basically what Nigel was trying to say, let me explain to you in a less weird way, in a straightforward way. He was just trying to say that Ole is not the right man for the job. That's all. I guess he's saying Ole is not the right man for the job. But I don't think you're right. I think at the moment where United are, okay, of course, they're trying to improve. But I think this is as good as they can get with what they have. This the best coach they can have at the moment. Who would want to come to work for the club at the moment? It's a mess. Look at that Woodward guy. I don't even like him. I think he's terrible for football.
I think people like him are terrible for football. People that just want to gain financial whatever. I don't like that. I don't like that.
So let me condemn Manchester United fans. As long as Woodward is there, Ole is going to stay there. And 10 more years until you get another Premier League title. I've said
but it. I think in 10 years' time, it'll be good enough.
Okay, let's go to your second favorite team now. Manchester City. I hate the absolute guts of them. I hate them. They're gonna be kicking off versus Wolves next week, their first match of the season. Looking at their chances, okay, because they haven't played much, we haven't seen them. Looking in maybe at how sluggish Liverpool were, what kind of start do Manchester City need to just set a statement that we're not gonna give Liverpool any chance this year?
No, I think they probably need to do what they've always done when they won the league, because I think they need to be very more consistent, very consistent. Get those 20, 25 game, no loss, whatever win streaks they go on. I think they need to start strong. They need to send a message, But I also think defensively they need to start off on the right foot. I think he needs to have a backline that he trusts, that he plays game in, game out, just like Frank Lampard needs to do. Just trust it, Some of these things may take time for the players to join and to understand each other. But I think he needs to do that. And for me, I think it'll be tight as long as City don't get Koulibaly. If City get Koulibaly, I think
I see. But yeah, looking at City's defense, of course, there's some questions, exclamation points, colons, semicolons on that defense and everything. But I also wanted to talk about the guy who sits just in front of the defense. I don't trust that guy. I do not trust him defensively. He's not as good as Fernandinho defensively. Maybe with the ball, yes, but as soon as there's some pressure on City, I think he seems to just fold. He's a bit weak. He's not strong enough for this league. Or maybe last year he was settling in. But I haven't liked what I've seen from the guy, especially from a defensive point of the game. He doesn't seem to be a good defensive midfield, which he's supposed to be.
I agree with what you're saying. I think when they have the ball and everything is good, he looks like he's the best defensive midfielder in the world. But when they're suddenly under pressure or he has people running at him, I think he looks a bit shaky. I think how I feel about Fernandinho in that position. I think if I was at Leeds United or if I was in Championship and they said, look, here's 30 million and you can pay 200,000 a week in wages, the only person I'm looking at is Fernandinho. So, yeah, I think if, with Nathan coming back in, I think Fernandinho would take back his role. I think he'll sit in front of that back four.
So you're saying that Rodri is going to be on the bench and Fernandinho is going to be the starting central defensive midfielder?
That's what I think. I think even Pep trusts Fernandinho more in the role.
We'll see. I don't trust that Pep guy. He doesn't seem to do any good. I don't trust his footballing IQ. I think I'm better than him. I can take his job and do much better.
That's not true.
Okay, now we've wrapped up the Premier League. We're going to look at La Liga now. La Liga came back this weekend, and of course, they had some smaller games. Watched some of them, but I don't think they're good enough to make our show. We have to talk about the big boys who haven't started yet. They're starting next weekend. I just wanted, let's do a quick preview prediction thing. Who do you think is going to take La Liga?
I think it's Real Madrid, no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. I mean, we look at Barcelona, what's going on in the club. Before we even get to the football, what's going on in the club? I see no way. I think Atletico might even beat them this season. I don't think they're not good. Okay, and then we come onto the field. You look at the balance of Barcelona. It's off. It's really, really, really off. That back line seems like anything can go through it. Even that midfield, still, going forward, they'll always be Barcelona. I don't think they'll ever have problems going forward like that because they have one man. They've managed to keep him in chains for another season. So, so I think they'll be all right. But yeah, I think Real Madrid will run away with it. And I think they'll do it convincingly this season. Especially if they can get Hazard back to being Hazard. But we already know how that's going so far in preseason. The man seems to be unfit for whatever reason.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, okay, let me ask you, just give us your order for the three teams in La Liga.
Real Madrid.
Yes.
Atletico Madrid. Barcelona.
This definitely certifies and it just brings out the point. If anyone was at least still believing that Barcelona are any good, this is the Barcelona goal right here. Nigel has told you they're finished. Number 3 in La Liga. I think that's just like relegation to Barcelona. They're the worst team in La Liga now. Okay, yeah. So now looking at this Barcelona team that's really struggling, looking really poor, I want you to give us something that they could obviously do if to have any chance to win the La Liga this season. What do they have to do?
I think it starts off, obviously we can talk about the board and whatever issues they have going on up there. But even if you look at how they recruit and the type of players they recruit, I've always asked this about Barcelona, why? What's going on? Right now they're in the market to go get Memphis to pay. Why do you need Memphis to pay? For what reason? Look at your back line. There's nothing there. There's nothing, absolutely nothing there. And you're in the market for that guy. Come on, that's nonsense. That is rubbish. I think the whole world can see where the issue is with Barcelona, except them, for whatever reason.
They're blinded.
I don't know what the issue is.
Blinded by something.
I did think the Wijnaldum deal, for some reason, it looks like it's just died down. I don't know what's going on there. But I think that would have been a pretty decent purchase. Maybe they're waiting to offload players again, They want to offload some guys in before they bring in. That could be another scenario, who knows? But I don't think they should be in the market for Depay. I don't think that's sensible at all. Yeah,
so they had a friendly, I think 2 days ago, where Ronald Koeman was saying he changed the formation and everything from that normal 4-3-3 they've used for years, that outdated tactic. outdated tactic for Barcelona. He used a 4-2-3-1, and he was alluding to the press that maybe just this year, you're going to see a different Barcelona in terms of how we play. We're going to play more defensively. Is this something that those fans in Catalonia can accept? Because those fans put massive pressure on managers. Because I remember Ernesto Valverde, that guy, he was always winning La Liga with them, but they always said they wanted him gone because he was too defensive.
See, that's the problem with some of these clubs. But again, Koeman is not there for. I don't think he's there for a long time. I think one season, best 2 seasons. So I think for him, if he, which I think is right, I think if he's not going to get the players he wants defensively or the players defensively, I think playing a 4-2 is good enough because it gives you that cover as well. With the two guys in front of the defense. But I think if he wins by some miracle, he wins the La Liga this season and goes decently far in the Champions League. I think it'll be a pretty good season. I think it'll be a good season for them, regarding what's happened, in this period of time here. I don't think the fans will be happy about it. Like you said, they always want tiki-taka and attacking football, yada. But I think he can pray that the fans are not in the stadium this whole season.
Wow. Yeah. So, let's talk about the champions, the defending champions, most likely to be champions at the end of the season as well. Are they going to improve, all those young kids, Vinicius, Rodrigo, all that stuff, and Eden Hazard, who's looking very, very much useless, getting more and more useless by the day? What's the prospects for Real Madrid? Because, of course, yes, they're most likely to win La Liga, but do they play for La Liga? I think they go into the season, looking at that other big tournament, wanting to win the tournament. Do they have a chance?
Yeah, I think regarding what happened last season, they won La Liga, and obviously they would want to win it again this season. But I think the eyes just shift a bit now, to that the big ears. I think now he'll be looking at those young guys, and he'll be hoping that they hopefully have matured enough, and they can step into that different class that you need if you're going to win the Champions League. I think, I don't know, I think the Champions League is a bit of a stretch because I still think, Bayern Munich, they could probably go win it again if they wanted. I don't know, this season will actually be tricky. If you look at the Champions League, who doesn't win it if Bayern Munich win it? If Bayern Munich don't win it? Who wins it if Bayern Munich?
Chelsea.
No way. No way.
I'm using my heart on this one. Chelsea win the Champions League. If we don't win it, we're going to make the semi-finals this year.
That's a call,
Wait and see. I'm always right, remember.
That's a call. Do you think Liverpool have a chance this season?
Nope.
Really?
No.
But yeah, I think, I think that's how we'll be looking at Zidane. Those young guys, Rodrigo, even the likes of Asensio, just kind of, step it up a level. He obviously has the experience in the squad. I mean, you look at Sergio Ramos, as much as I don't like him defensively, I think I think going forward, he's probably one of the best centre backs we've seen ever. So I think they have the experience, they have the quality here and there, but can the young guys step up and do the job? And can Benzema be consistent enough this season, like he was last? Important as well.
Okay, very let's look at the younger brothers, if not the younger brothers, the outcasts of the city of Madrid. the working class, the ones who have to fight for everything that they have, Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
If there's a chance, how much of a chance do you give them of winning the Spanish league title?
Like I said, I think they're closer to it than Barcelona. Do I think they can challenge Real Madrid if Real Madrid don't have a very good season? Yes. Because for me, Atletico have always been that squad where sometimes it's really about going forward that they kind of, I know it sounds ridiculous because there's Joao Felix, and the other people. But yeah, like, how many goals can they score? Can they score a lot of goals? It's always been that kind. I don't think, defensively, I've never doubted them because I think the manager has always drilled them. We all know Atletico, how drilled they are defensively when they have to. But I just think it's that going forward, that creativity, that who gets the goals for them, who gets those high, those high numbers for them. That's always been the issue. But I think if they can do that, then why not?
But yeah, as you said, going forward has been a problem for Atletico in recent times. But the accusation has always been, towards the manager, where it seems as if he's got all his players shackled. He just wants those 11 to defend for the 90 minutes. Maybe if you get a goal, you're lucky. But it's as if sometimes he just tells them, I don't even want you to attack. You don't even have to shoot today. Let's just go and get it 0-0, done and dusted. It's a good day. So is it that sometimes it's Diego Simeone who holds them back, or, it's something else? What do they have to do to be able to get the number of goals that's needed to win a league title? Or do they need different personnel in terms of attacking players?
Look, I don't think they need different personnel. I just think it's the manager that probably just needs to, like you said, unshackle them a bit. Let them, go do what they need to do up front, and have somewhat of a trust in his defensive players, Because yes, we know he wants them to be really solid. You'd be likely to get a goal against Atletico Madrid. So, but that doesn't help in when you have to score goals. When when you want the La Liga or the whatever trophy they want. In the Champions League, it can be a different story. Because you're looking at games like, okay, we're away from home, let's shut them out for a little bit, let's shut them out, and then we see how the game, that kind of mentality. We get one on the break, especially when you're playing against sides that are better than you. But it's now a case of, Atletico are the better team in La Liga. They are one of the better teams in La Liga. So unshackle the guys, let them go, I don't see what the issue is,
I get what you're saying now, that they have to be unshackled. I agree with you too, of course, some extent. But this guy has had them since, 2011, of course, won the league title in 2014. But ever since then, they haven't looked like challenging. And he's been given chance after chance after chance to unshackle them a little bit. It seems as if he'll never unshackle them. So should Atletico perhaps start looking at a future without Diego Simeone? And again, let's just put this out there. This is the most paid manager in the world.
I think, yes, I think they should have moved on from him. But it's another question of who do you bring in? Who's gonna really do that? Who's gonna come to Atletico, and who's gonna then take them to that level? Where they've always been kind of knocking at the door in a way. It's also another issue. So I think right now maybe they just could be really content with where they are, where they're not really falling off per se, but they're not really going anywhere, you know? So I think they could be in a sort of dilemma here where they don't really know what to do. They don't really know what to do. And if you let Diego Simeone, I think he's one of the best coaches. So it's now, okay, you let him go. Who do you bring in? You know, it's another issue. Yeah. But going forward, I don't think he's the man, because of his tactical style of his, that.
I understand. So, yeah, let's move on to the Italian game. Italiano.
Okay, okay.
Serie A Calcio. Yeah, this is a league I've looked at, and to me, this year just seems to be a two-horse race between Inter.
Oh my God.
What was that?
That was my chair. Wow. Sorry, technical difficulties. What was that? Okay. I see what's happening. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Looking at Italian Serie A, for me personally, I think this is going to be a two-horse race between Juventus and Internazionale Milano, whatever the full name is, Inter Milan.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get a preview and prediction of yours. I'm not trusting Pirlo, but I don't know what you're thinking. Who's going to win this league?
I don't know about Pirlo. He's never managed before. Not even under 19s, under 18. So just going off that, you instantly look at Inter Milan, you know.
Apparently, he got the under-23's job at Juventus 9 days before they sacked Sarri and made him the head coach.
9 days.
He has 9 days experience, my friend.
He has about the same experience I have. But yeah, I just think of that. I think I'll say Inter Milan. But as well, you know, the quality in that Juventus side is not something you can just, you know, turn a blind eye on. So I think that kind of makes it. It's one of those, you know, when they say Pep takes over a side with some of the best players in the world in their positions, and you're now looking at, you know. So, yeah, I'll go Inter and then I'll go Juventus. But I don't know. They have Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo.
I'm going to support you when it comes to this. I think Inter Milan should win this Serie A title. If they don't win it this year, I don't think they won't win. They won't win it for a very, very long time, because this is their biggest chance.
True.
They've got it's not the best squad, but it's quite solid for the Serie A. I think they can go on and win it versus an inexperienced Juventus side in terms of the coach. Of course, the players are very experienced and whatnot. But if Inter Milan don't win it this year, I'm just afraid they won't win it ever again. Because now at the moment, I think the squad is between that space where there's some good players and, of course, not so good players. But it's before Antonio Conte kills that squad with his ridiculous transfer deals like Kolarov, Arturo Vidal. Maybe he's probably going to bring Peter Crouch into Inter Milan as well. He wants like these very, very weird players. Good coach, my favorite coach, but I just don't understand some of his transfer requests and transfer demands.
No, but don't you think it's a case of he brings in players that he knows are going to work well with his system? You know, no matter the age, no matter the maybe quality of the player, but he knows if I bring this player in here, he's going to do a job for me. You know, I just think the questionable thing, I don't question whether he's his use of the player when the player comes in or whatever. I don't question that. What I question is maybe some, the quality sometimes he may bring in, and age is a different thing. I mean, Kolarov, really. But that's where I kind of have the quality he brings in. Just the quality.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand with Antonio Conte. He does just these things that just surprise you. You see, they bought Hakim. He was wonderful at Dortmund, and he's a right wing back, a natural wing back. You see, he's gonna bench him for Kandrev or something like that. I'm telling you right now, the guy will just do some weird stuff. And also looking at Juventus now, it's gonna be interesting tactically because they're friendly. Watch, they're friendly yesterday. Andrea Pirlo is also now using what Antonio Conte taught him, the same 3-5-2 formation, making Juventus play the 3-5-2 Antonio Conte used to make them, play when he was the head coach of Juventus. This fellow guy, I just don't know what to expect. I'm sorry. Maybe you can say some nice things about him.
I think he was the best midfielder ever in world football. No one comes close to Pirlo, But in terms of managing, I don't know. He's yet to convince me because he hasn't managed anything. So, I don't know. What do you think that's the formation he sticks to?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He hasn't had this team for a very long time. He's still, in case, as supporters, we should be trying to find out what system is he going to play. Does he know himself? And the big problem with Pirlo at the moment is he also doesn't even have any idea of how. Maybe he's still finding himself as a young coach. He doesn't really know what he's doing. So I guess we'll just find out when they step onto the pitch. But I agree with you. Serie A is for Inter Milan this year. If they don't win it.
Do you think that 3-5-2 works at Juventus?
Not at the moment. I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. We've been surprised before. Maybe Pirlo does whatever he's doing, wins Serie A. Finally, Juventus win the Champions League after so long, 20 plus years. I think it's now 24 years. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying surprising.
That's another surprising one for me. You'd think that since they're chasing the Champions League, they brought in Ronaldo to win the Champions League. You would think he would go with someone who is probably more capable of winning than the Champions League. But I don't know. It's a surprising one.
That's what happens when a football club owner is surrounded by complete idiots. Pavel Nedved is a complete idiot. Fabio Paratici, those guys surrounding the owner of Juventus, complete idiots. That's why Juventus will not go anywhere. I'm sorry, Juventus fans. I think this year you might be third in Syria.
Oh, they would hang themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so now, let's look at another league, the French league. PSG must say, PSG, of course, they're by far the best team in their league. But for some reason, 2 games in, 2 losses for PSG. Should they start getting worried?
Yeah, no. No. No way.
That was a quick response.
I think you look at Neymar, Di Maria. I think they had 1 training session before they played the last match, the crazy match. But I no. The only noticeable difference is at the back. That man that left them, you can see it. You can see it. You can't run away from it. It's there.
I think someone is just trying to praise his team. Yeah, someone is just trying to praise Chelsea.
And I think the manager knew it because he tried to get him to stay. He tried his best, but look, I think Champions League for them this season is going to be interesting. I think the league, they're going to win it as usual. But, the Champions League will be very interesting for them this season.
So we won't talk about Ligue 1 anymore because we already know it's finished. We're gonna talk about everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this channel is not only about soccer,
Mm.
football. It depends, whatever you call it. We've got an American audience, so sometimes we might have to call it soccer.
Never.
So yeah, let's look at the Tuscany Grand Prix yesterday.
Yes.
Of course, my guy won it. I'm joking, he's not my guy. I know he's your guy. Obviously,
He's not
always wins
bad.
it. But what's been happening, I've noticed the past 2 weekends, 2 red flags in a race, the safety cars, all that nonsense that's been going on.
I don't know what happened. And I think this weekend was it was crazy. It was red flag after red flag. I think the first incident happens in lap 1 with Verstappen.
Yes.
I don't know what happens there. And then we have another one around lap 7 or 8 again. And I think that was the big one. That was the big one when they had the safety car and then Bottas accelerate and then he slows down again. And then people think the race is on, and then boom. And yeah, that was crazy. I'm just thankful that everyone's okay. But yeah, I think it's just this season is gonna be another case of Lewis Hamilton showing his quality, and no doubts whatsoever, he wins it again.
Apparently, he said after the race that, you were saying that the guys in charge of the race, they're putting everyone's life at risk with the way that they've been conducting themselves, especially in these incidences of the red flag. He was actually defending Bottas as well, as you have done, that some of these things, they're not making sense, and it's actually causing more harm, more accidents. And I think it was Carlos Sainz who actually got an injury from the safety car, switching off late and doing all those other things.
Yeah, I think yesterday some people were saying that was inexperience from the drivers, as well, with that incident. But yeah, I think I don't know about really how, who was wrong and who was right. I think we can sit here and say anyone really, because if you look at was Sainz? Who was it? Who started the incident off? I don't know. Someone. Oh, it was Kevin. Yes, exactly. Because he thinks the race is on, but then someone in front of him slams the brakes, and then he goes into him, and then that goes on. But again, I think we also saw Hamilton complaining about this. I don't remember which race it was when the safety car came out, and he was complaining about these guys as well in their race to them. So yeah, I don't know what the issue is going on there, but yeah, all I know is ladies are not. They're not on. They're from another planet at the moment.
But of course, yeah, now Formula One has become this sport where people drive around in these cars for around 70, 60, depending on the race laps. And at the end of the day, Lewis Hamilton wins. Those are the rules of the game. I just wanted to ask, as a casual Formula One fan, is the continuous winning of Lewis Hamilton good for the Formula One?
I think it's like in football, where you have this one team like Barcelona did years ago when they set the bar, and then everybody kind of had to come and try and get onto that level. And I just think it's the similar case. It's a similar case here, where you have that racer setting that racer and his car setting that standard, and then everybody now kind of has to try and get there. So for me, I think it's good for it. I think Hamilton is good for Formula One, and him winning is very good for Formula One.
Yeah,
but obviously, it's kind of.
I've got nothing bad to say about the guy. I think personally, he's the best Formula One driver ever. He's certainly up there. He's gonna break Michael Schumacher's records and everything like that. He's gonna be the best ever driver. But oh boy, I can't wait for him to go so that my guy Charles Leclerc can start winning these things.
No, not if Max has a say in it. Max Verstappen. I think he's probably
the next guy.
I think he's the next guy for sure.
We'll see. We're gonna be following the next race from the Formula One, which is coming up very, very soon. We're gonna do another review, and hopefully by then Ferrari, that useless company, do something to help my guy Charles Leclerc to win something.
Ferrari.
They're just useless.
Wow. I haven't seen such a decline anywhere in any sport. Yeah, but and I don't think Sebastian Vettel is going to even be trying for the remainder, of this campaign, because he's going somewhere else.
Yeah,
he seems to be not in the right standing with the Ferrari guys. So, yeah.
Yeah, so now we're going to put Nigel out of his comfort zone. We're going to talk US Open.
I have no idea.
Did you at least watch the highlights?
I watched the highlights for Naomi Osaka's match.
She's
and I know her because, it's Naomi Osaka. She's probably going to be the next, brand of tennis, that person, So I only know her because of that, and only because she's dating a rapper. So, yeah.
You're crazy. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, she won the US Open. This is a third Grand Slam in 7
She won the US Open twice, right?
Yeah.
She's won it twice.
In 7 major tournaments. So, yeah, she's closing the gap very fast. Of course, still very far from Serena. But just looking at her, she is the one who's going to take over whenever Serena decides to call it quits. Because I think she's building herself as a brand on the court and off the court with all the racial injustice stuff she's now also doing, speaking out on that stuff. And, she's the next big thing when it comes to the females tennis. And also the men's US Open had a new winner, and Nigel didn't bother to watch the match. Dominic Thiem winning the US Open for the men.
What happened to... I saw there was an incident with Novak Djokovic. What happened?
Yeah, of course, coming into the tournament, he was the favorite to win it because his rivals Nadal and Roger Federer had decided that they weren't going to compete in the US Open for several personal reasons. So apparently, when Djokovic was playing his match, you know how you get frustrated on the court and everything. Yeah. So he just hits a ball and it hits one of the judges in the throat. So now that's how they defaulted him using US Open terminology. Yeah.
Wow, that's tough. That is tough. Wow. Did you do it on purpose though, or it was a mistake?
From where I was sitting, it looked like a mistake when I was, because I was one of the lucky guys who was allowed into the Flushing Meadows main court. I was, from the angle I was sitting, it was like 65 degrees. It just looked as if it was a mistake. It didn't look intentional. He was very sorry afterwards. I thought maybe giving him a fine was going to be something that was going to make it at least better, but not, taking away his whole chance to win the tournament. But, people in charge got to do what people in charge got to do. They disqualified him. That's life. Oh yeah. So that was it for this week of the TnN show. We're gonna see you guys next week with some more reviews, and if anything is to go by from this episode, I'll be saying the right things. Nigel is always wrong. I'm always right. That's life. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching TK Sports. For more awesome content from this channel, please subscribe. And also engage with us on our social media platforms down in the description below.